As of 2023, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Japan, Switzerland, Australia, Germany, Netherlands, Canada, and South Korea are considered the top 10 most successful countries in the world due to the fact that these countries top the charts when it comes to several aspects such as a booming economy, best healthcare, best education, infrastructure, functional systems, and overall standard of living. Going by this list, you will notice that most of the countries are not necessarily the largest in the world either by land area or population. Nor do they have the largest economies, however, they are the most livable countries on Earth. Amongst the top 50 best countries in the world, only one African country amongst the 54 sovereign countries in Africa made the list. The truth is, Africa is the poorest continent on Earth, despite being the richest in terms of natural resources. However, in this video, we shall shine the light on the African countries that are relatively doing well and can match other countries in the West. The countries on this list are countries that have attained a certain level of development and are still striving to attain more. These countries don't necessarily have the largest population, but its citizens enjoy a high standard of living to a certain degree. But before we dive in the list, if you are new here, welcome, be sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss any of our videos. So without any further delay and in no particular order, here are the most successful countries in Africa. 10. Mauritius. Mauritius is a typical example of big things comes in small packages. Despite the fact that Mauritius is a very small country with barely over 1.2 million people, the country is, however, one of the most successful countries in Africa, with a nominal GDP of $11 billion and a nominal GDP per capita of $8,500. The country has the second highest GDP per capita on the continent. Despite the fact that the country's economy depends solely on agriculture and tourism, Mauritius ranks at the top when it comes to several factors. It is one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. It has the most powerful African passport. It is one of the best countries in Africa to do business. It has one of the best road networks. It has one of the best educational systems. And it is a tourist heaven. Yes, Mauritius is a small country, but there are other smaller countries that are living in misery. Mauritius might not have the largest surface area or population in Africa, but it's hands down one of the best countries in Africa to live in and raise children. 9. Morocco. Morocco is famous for many things: beautiful beaches, amazing tourist attractions, location for movies, rich culture, and it is one of the only 3 surviving kingdoms in Africa. Morocco is a very beautiful country with a population of over 37 million people. It is one of the most developed in Africa and also the richest. With a nominal GDP of over $142 billion and a nominal GDP per capita of over $3,900, the country is one of the most successful in Africa. Morocco was ranked as the first African country by the Economist Intelligence Unit's Quality of Life Index, ahead of South Africa. However, in the years since that first-place ranking was given, Morocco has slipped into 4th place behind Egypt. 8. Algeria. Still in the northern part of Africa, we have the beautiful country of Algeria. Algeria is one powerhouse in Africa that, in my opinion, is not being given enough attention. Its economy is one of the fastest-growing economies and its Human Development Index is one of the highest on the continent. With a population of over 44 million people, Algeria is relatively doing well, considering the fact that its nominal GDP per capita is over $4,200, which is relatively better than most countries with the same population as Algeria. Algeria's currency is the dinar. The economy remains dominated by the state, a legacy of the country's socialist post-independence development model. In recent years, the Algerian government has halted the privatization of state-owned industries and imposed restrictions on imports and foreign involvement in its economy. 7. Namibia. Namibia is one of those countries in Africa that works in silence. Unless you take a closer look, you won't even notice Namibia is an African country. Most people have equated Namibia as the Dubai of Africa because it has almost everything that Dubai has. From beautiful cities, amazing tourist attractions, and friendly people, Namibia has it all. The country is one of the most peaceful and developed in Africa, and its economy is relatively doing well. Though a very large country in terms of surface area, Namibia only has a population of over 2.5 million people, making it one of the most sparsely populated country on Earth. In fact, 97% of Namibia is empty, yet it is still one of the most desirable countries in Africa. The country has one of the best educational systems. Its roads are hands down the best in Africa, and its economy is fast-growing. Namibia's economy is tied closely to South Africa's due to their shared history. The largest economic sectors are mining, 10.4% of the gross domestic product in 2009, agriculture, 5%, manufacturing, 13.5%, and tourism, 14.5%. Namibia has a highly developed banking sector with modern infrastructures, such as online banking and cell phone banking. The Bank of Namibia is the central bank of Namibia responsible for performing all other functions ordinarily performed by a central bank. 6. Ivory Coast. This might be the only French-speaking country on this list. Over the years, Ivory Coast has proven that it deserves a place at the table of elders. The country is developed, beautiful, and peaceful. Ivory Coast is the highest exporter of cocoa in the world. Ivory Coast plays a key role in transit trade for neighboring landlocked countries. The country is the largest economy in the West African Economic and Monetary Union, constituting 40% of the Monetary Union's total GDP. Ivory Coast is the fourth largest exporter of general goods in sub-Saharan Africa, following South Africa, Nigeria, and Angola. The country also has a decent road network and has produced some of the most successful musicians on the continent. 5. Kenya. Kenya is a very interesting country. Not only is it the most powerful country in East Africa, the country is home to some of the best national parks in Africa. Its capital city, Nairobi, is a very vibrant city with lots of expatriates, and it is one of the most visited cities in Africa. Kenya has a population of over 55 million people and a nominal GDP of $114 billion. Kenya's macroeconomic outlook has steadily posted robust growth over the past few decades, mostly from road, rail, air, and water transport infrastructure projects, as well as massive investments in information and communication technology. However, much of this growth has come from cash flows diverted from ordinary Kenyan pockets at the microeconomic level through targeted monetary and fiscal measures coupled with poor management, corruption, massive theft of public funds, over-legislation, and an ineffective judiciary, resulting in diminished incomes in ordinary households and small businesses, unemployment, underemployment, and general discontent across multiple sectors. 4. Tanzania. Still in East Africa, we have another powerhouse called Tanzania. Over the years, Tanzania has grown to becoming one of the most beautiful countries in Africa, with a thriving economy and booming tourism industry. The country has a population of over 61 million and a nominal GDP of $76 billion. The country is amongst the most visited countries in Africa, and its level of peace is commendable. Tanzania weathered the Great Recession, which began in late 2008 or early 2009 relatively well. Strong gold prices, bolstering the country's mining industry, and Tanzania's poor integration into global markets helped to insulate the country from the downturn. Since the recession ended, the Tanzanian economy has expanded rapidly thanks to strong tourism, telecommunications, and banking sectors. 3. Botswana. Botswana is a relatively stable and prosperous country that has made significant progress in recent years. With a population of over 2.5 million people, Botswana has one of the fast-rising economies in Africa. Botswana has a middle-income economy and is one of the fastest-growing countries in Africa. The country is rich in natural resources, including diamonds, copper, nickel, and coal, and has a well-developed mining industry. Botswana is also known for its tourism industry, with popular destinations such as the Okavango Delta and Chobe National Park. Botswana has a rich cultural heritage, with a diverse population that includes several ethnic groups such as the Tswana people, who make up the majority of the population. Traditional music, dance, and art are an important part of Botswana's cultural heritage. 2. Egypt. Egypt has over the years proven that it is a powerful country. Though a very large country in terms of population, Egypt is one of the most successful countries in Africa. The country is famous for many things: its pyramids, ancient rich culture, its beautiful cities, and booming economy. Its military is the strongest in Africa, and a new ultra-modern capital city is under construction, which will be a game-changer in Africa. Egypt's economy depends mainly on agriculture, media, petroleum exports, natural gas, and tourism. There are also more than 3 million Egyptians working abroad, mainly in Libya, Saudi Arabia, the Persian Gulf, and Europe. The completion of the Aswan Dam in 1970 and the resultant Lake Nasser have altered the time-honored place of the Nile River in the agriculture and ecology of Egypt. A rapidly growing population, limited arable land, and dependence on the Nile all continue to overtax resources and stress the economy. 1. South Africa. South Africa is a very beautiful country as of 2022. It has a population of over 60 million people spread across 12 million kilometers of land. It is the 9th largest country in Africa by land and the 6th most populous country in Africa, despite the fact that it comes in at 3rd position when it comes to GDP after Nigeria and Egypt. It, however, has a GDP per capita 3 times higher than that of Nigeria at $6,500. When it comes to development, South Africa is hands down the most developed country in Africa, with a Human Development Index of 0.7, which is similar to Brazil's the largest country in South America by every standard. South Africa has the 3rd most powerful passport in Africa, the 9th strongest currency, and the 2nd strongest military in Africa. In comparison, Nigeria, which is currently considered the giant of Africa, has an extremely low Human Development Index of 0.5, one of the worst passports in Africa, one of the worst currencies in Africa at 3rd place, and comes in at 4th place when it comes to military strength. Both countries have a vibrant entertainment industry with some of the biggest music and film festivals hosted there. South Africa has some of the best airports, airlines, and is the only Africa country that has ever hosted a FIFA World Cup. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos.